which are meant to prevent falls.
Are you all right, Mimi?
Thank you.
Are you all right?
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, darling. Oh.
Thank you, my darling.
Oh.
This is reality. This is reality.
Yes.
The bruising on Mimi's face had been there since we arrived.
Are you okay, sweetheart?
Yes.
Yeah?
I asked for some water, Ray,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Mimi's got mine.
Oh, she's okay.
I hope she's...
I'll bring you some, yeah. To see me.
I came to collect Gillian from the home. If this had all happened in just a random 24 hours, what about the residents Gillian was leaving behind? And why on earth was the Sea Sky Commission still allowing the home to operate?
Welcome back, your life matters again.
I went back to Victoria Court to confront the owner Ray about what Gillian and I had uncovered during our visits there.
Hi, Dee.
Do you think this was a good home? Do you think
It's a very, very good home. You know, we have some good feedback from families. Naturally, today we had families coming and sitting in the garden with the residents.
What's the procedure if somebody falls over?
Well, we'll have to fill the accident form, we'll have to report it, and we'll call the doctor.
Why, when I was here, did I walk in, find a lady lying on the floor, no one called a doctor?
We didn't, you know, you're talking a lot of rubbish. Do you know that? We never had instances whereby when you were here, anybody had a fall.
I'm talking rubbish, am I?
Absolutely.
Still sure? Undeniably, there's a fall. And with one of the residents saying, there's a fall.
Well, I mean, you just told me that, you know, I mean, if some, do you know, it's the way you're describing fall. Do you understand? The residents, do you know, I mean, if...
A fall's a fall. And then when somebody is down on the floor, she's just lifted up without any medical assessment to see if she's injured or not, and she's just pulled up.
What they did was wrong. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it was wrong. But, do you know, this kind of thing sometimes happens. It doesn't happen just here, it happens everywhere. You know?
Look at this. Look at Mimi here. So Mimi is now in a room on her own, unsupervised.
Yeah, for that moment.
Look what happens.
But you can't be present there 24/7, you know, every minute with the residents. I mean, these things happen, you know, accidents happen, you know, it happens everywhere. It happens in the house, in your home.
How many falls have you had in the last 6 months?
I don't know, you have to ask my manager, I have no idea, you know.
I mean, you report them into Sea Skies, you have a few falls every 6 months. We were here for 24 hours, we saw 4 falls.
Well, you were just lucky, you know, just one of those unfortunate things, though, isn't it?
When I contacted Sea Sky, they told me they were now serving a notice of closure on Victoria Court. I wanted to know why this had taken them over 2 years and so many failed reports. They said, Sea Sky recognises it is reasonable to invite a care home provider to attempt to improve its services. The majority of homes we had rated as poorly performing have improved their standards of care, but this is not always the case. The Commission has raised a number of concerns about Victoria Court and have issued requirements for them to improve. As a result, the Commission is taking legal action to safeguard the interests of residents.
Have you got My Generation from the Who?
At least Winifred had faith that the record would be a success.
The Who?
My Generation, The Who, Pete Townsend.
A friend brought round the sheet music for the song that Winnie admitted she'd never actually heard of. Not that that was going to stop her. What we really needed was some old people who could still hold a tune. And it turns out there are quite a few out there, as I found on a whistle-stop tour of OAP choirs.
Yes, we've done things you'll never guess. We've shown what lots more to be.
The river is deep and the river is wide. Hallelujah, you make me happy when the skies are grey.
For the backing chorus, they don't come much older than the inspirational Buster. 100 years old and still working.
So I guess you won't be retiring from this job then?
Well, if I retire from this job, I'll probably be popped in a wooden box and put down underneath.
And then I came across Peter Oakley, aka Geriatric 1927, an internet phenomenon whose online chats about the good old days have landed him a loyal army of fans.
it does seem that I am the granddad of the internet, which is how I am labelled, and the label I'm very pleased to accept.
Sort of older people. He could be the key to our marketing. A record to get in the pop charts.
Oh my God!
So, could we kind of count on you to help us out and give it a push?
I'd help any way I could, yes.
That would be great. With our group of aged rockers on board, we had just one day of rehearsals before the single would be recorded. I'd come to pick up Joan, who was still nervous about leaving the flat by herself.
Hello.
How you doing? So how's your singing voice today?
Well, I've got a slight cold.
Yeah.
And then also I've got that thing, what you call a frog in the throat. A frog in the throat.
Okay.
You've heard of that?
Yes.
You have?
The old people I'd met were arriving at the rehearsal studios from across the country. For some, it was the first time they'd been in London. For everyone, it was about old people having a go at doing something different and giving the profits to charity.
Oh, fine, thank you. Oh, it's so exciting. And, you know, I hadn't been in a fast train before.
Really? Well, one without steam, you mean? One without steam?
Yes. The last one was a steamer.
Was it really?
Why don't you all fade away? Talking about my generation.
We'd managed to get some top voice coaches, but only had a couple of hours to turn our 40 geriatrics into chart-assaulting rockers.
We are gonna storm that charts. We are gonna storm that charts. We are gonna storm the 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 charts.
Does everyone know this song?
Come on, don't tell me.
You weren't old in 1964 or whatever it was.
Oh, well over 50. Yeah, I'm 100 now.
You're 100?
Yeah.
There always has to be somebody. Always has to be somebody. You're not 100, you're just 45 posing.
Well, you better not tell my 73-year-old daughter that.
That would be a tough one for her to work out.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Talking about my generation.
Talking about my generation.
As the afternoon wore on, the chances of actually producing a decent tune weren't looking good. I was beginning to worry about whether we'd pull it off at all. The band's name, the Zimmers, might not be so ironic.
I hope I die before I get old.
Yeah! Politeness aside, do you think we've got a chance?
I think that it depends on who does your solo lines. I think that the talking about my generation can sound they'll get that sounding fine. It's knowing who is going to be featured, and that really should be your producer's choice. I think Alf's great. Alf's
really stands out.
I'll give you a little kiss because I've never kissed a 101-year-old yet.
Ta-ra, sweetheart.
Right, this should be good. Okay.
Finally, the recording day for the Zimmers. The record company had secured the world-famous Abbey Road studios, home to much of the Beatles' work, and that iconic zebra crossing. We were hoping to make our own bit of history, recording with a group whose combined age is almost 3,000 years.
It's absolutely wonderful. We've become almost intimate friends overnight, immediately, and everybody's been telling stories of their youth and their opinions about everything, and we're all very much in tune, I'm sure.